It's the first day of December 2020. Finally, this year is about to pack up and go. Welcome. How do you feel about that?
Well, I mean, if it wasn't for the hordes of people who wish you Happy New Month, which I don't find quite amusing, but I'm an old fuddy-duddy. Maybe it's the new Nigeria.
It's been new for years.
It's been for
Every
years,
month.
but I've never found it. I found it a bit of a distraction. Happy New Month and Happy New Week. I think
Happy New Day.
All these are the effects of the recession, where people have much more time on their hands. That's what I think it is.
Ouchies. Ouchies.
Yeah, back in the day when you had to wake up in the morning, when I was a young clerk in Ministry of Justice, wake up to catch the bus to go and then come back. And then also, I think this excitement of having a new toy called the phone also brings about... I never grew up knowing anything about Happy New Month.
Interestingly, most of the Happy New Month messages I get on my phone are from older persons.
Yes, because they are retired. They like this new toy that they have in their hands.
But interestingly, this particular one, I greeted people Happy New Month. I mean, I don't reply Happy New Month messages.
No wonder you felt so pained.
Yeah, it's personal.
Okay, great effect.
What? Guys, I hope you got the joke. Welcome to Dailies today. My name is Wemimo Adewuni. He is Jimi Disu. Always a thorn in my flesh every morning.
It's called Pepper Dem.
Yeah, Pepper Dem gang.
Pepper Dem, yes.
Guys, we've got a lot of papers on the show today. You can join the conversation on Twitter using the hashtag NigeriaInfoMCF. So leave us your thoughts. And also on Facebook and YouTube, we're currently streaming live. That means you can watch us right now. So go ahead and follow us there and leave us your thoughts. Let's start with this one from the Punch newspaper. Borno massacre. ACF, PDP, others attack federal government. Presidency offers excuses, blames farmers. So I read this on the first part of Dailies today.
Yes, it's the trending story.
Yeah.
It's very sad. It's very unfortunate. Some of the statements coming from the government, we don't have a coordinated response. Very quickly, let me run through this. Major General John Enenche, who is the coordinator of Defense Media Operations, blamed residents of the Northeast for sabotaging the war against insurgents. Then on Monday, Garba Shehu, who is the Special Assistant Media and Publicity, says the rice farmers did not get military clearance before going to their farms where they were killed by the insurgents. What he actually meant to say is that it was enemy territory. And he should jolly well just have said, by saying they didn't get clearance, you give an impression that you need to get clearance to go. No, the truth is they were in enemy territory. And that's what
you're the choice of words sometimes.
It's a choice of words, yes. I had a banter with my friend Ellie this morning on this. So the truth is that it was enemy territory. And the Minister for Information, Alhaji Lai Mohammed, said Boko Haram remained undefeated because Nigeria was denied access to adequate weapons to fight terrorists. I don't buy that. You can't be denied adequate weapons worldwide.
Right.
If you don't get weapons worldwide, then you go to the black market and get the war prosecuted and get it over and done with. That's how it is done. Nigerians are not interested in excuses that, if you can't get in the open market, you go to the black market, prosecute this war, and get it over and done with.
But is it legal? Is it okay to buy from the black market?
Look, when it comes to things of war, anything goes. What you want
is fair.
All is fair. You want to win that war, you understand, and have peace amongst your people. Look, for how long are we going to be bogged down? I'm not going to bother going back again to the advice that almost everybody we know under the sun has told the president that you need to change the security, whatever. He is the commander-in-chief, he's a retired major general, probably knows more than you and I, and he believes this is the best thing to do, but you can see the results that we are getting. All said and done, the Boko Haram war is anything but over.
How do you juxtapose this with the fact that the presidency, including General Burita himself, has told us over and over again that Boko Haram has been defeated, both technically and totally annihilated? But here we are again. We're even saying we don't have weapons. So how did we...
You know, before we came on, we were having a very quick discussion about the new ethos, the new form of ethics that you have, in society. You can say one thing and not mean it. but you just want it recorded that that's what you said. And I'll leave it at that. I'll leave the interpretation of that to people's imagination.
Yeah.
But the truth is you can't get the truth anymore. So the truth is your truth and my truth and your truth and my truth. If the government says that the Boko Haram war is over, so be it. If the definition of over is what we are seeing today, then they can say it is over. But personally, I believe Nigeria is still at war with Boko Haram.
We'll leave it there.
Do you want me to say anything more?
No.
No? Oh, okay.
No. Let us leave it there. Let's go to another story here in the Punch. Federal government warns against Christmas carol. Tells Nigerians abroad to stay away. According to this report, if you come into Nigeria, you can get stuck here because the government can decide to, just
again, information. You see, information management is handled in a very trivial manner.
Yeah.
Here you are. You're a country, right? You have your citizens. You have foreigners coming in and out. If you have an idea, if you have a fair idea that it's likely that you are going to lock down the country, why don't you say so categorically now?
Right.
Other countries have an action plan. We're going to lock down, open by this time, and so on and so forth. But to start giving veiled references, I mean, look at what it says here. We shall continue to remind Nigerians that all essential trips should be put off this December. This is for your safety and good health. And they talk about, working on how to get vaccines. But you see, Aliu advised Nigerians not to consider coming home other than to celebrate Christmas where they are. Hopefully they will stay where they are, and for Nigerians will also stay where we are. But he says here, please, if your travel is not essential, stay where you are. We are actively discouraging Nigerians from coming home and going abroad. So the message is, if you do not want to get stranded, if you don't want to bring COVID-19 to your elderly relatives, please stay where you are, and so on and so forth. There is more to this than that. Some people haven't seen their relatives for a year.
Yeah.
And in other countries, there's a human element involved. Discipline says stay where you are, but it's at some point it becomes almost humanly impossible. Once a door is open for you, not to want to take advantage of that door. What I would expect from the government is to say that the way things are going, we might lock down from this time to this time. You need to manage.
Absolutely.
That's what they're doing in countries in Europe. Even in America, they're saying that, okay, for Christmas, we're going to relax it a bit for this and for that. Rather than backing at people, you need to engage them.
Talk to them
and engage them with facts that can help them plan.
I agree with that. This looks like government just throwing orders at you. Don't go for Christmas carol. Don't come home. Stay there. It doesn't look coordinated.
It's not even orders. It's more or less like a threat.
Yeah.
And there must be the human element in governance. You must think of the wider, implications of the things that you say.
And it's been a very tough year. Seeing family is what people want to do now.
Very, very
to wrap
tough.
up the year, feel so. Yeah, like you said, the human face to this.
I would like the team to come up with an action plan that tells us this is what you're going to do through whatever, and this is what we're likely to do in January. That from the trend we're seeing, we might improve. And if you're going to do a lockdown, why not just do it now?
Right. What are you waiting for?
What are you waiting for?
But we understand that they're all looking at the health of Nigerians. So you remember to stay safe, wash your hands as often as possible, wear your masks, and stay away if you don't need to go out, okay? Let's see these other stories. Also the Punch. 6 Tucano fighter jets produced. Pilots in U.S. training, says NAF, that's the Nigeria Air Force.
Let me... Now, Wemimo, you remember last week? Last week we were talking about the runway.
Yes.
Okay, the Tucano jets had been paid for and so on and so forth. Now, yesterday, and in today's papers, the Nigerian Air Force has dismissed reports that the contractual agreement between them and the United States for the supply of the Tucano aircraft is in jeopardy due to bad runway. The NAF disclosed that 6 of the expected 12 aircraft had been produced. Nobody talked of production last week. Runway. It says have been produced and were presently being employed for conversion and we're presently being employed for conversion training of 6 NAF pilots who are already in the US. So all that is going on. Ibikunle Damalola, who is Director of Information, also says that the utterances credited to the Vice Chairman Senate Committee on Air Force, Senator Mark Nnachi, while briefing the Senate, were taken out of context. So, he says that the A29 Super Tucano aircraft projection on course for delivery as scheduled. And he said the jets would land on Nigerian soil as scheduled and in accordance with the terms of the contract. But he didn't say anything specific about the runway.
I'm waiting for. Did he say? So when he said
no,
was taken out of context,
he craftily skipped that part. And I say that craftily with all sense of responsibility because that was the core part.
Yes.
Nobody talked about whether the jets were ready or not.
Yes.
What we were saying is that the Senate Committee chairman said they do need some 9 billion, okay, to get the runway ready, okay, asking for additional 9 billion. Now, if you say that he took it out of context, can you
Which part? Yeah, and explain.
No, can you then put it back in context? If you took it out of context, take it and put it back in context and brief us about this runway.
Yeah.
And I expected, in all honesty, that our friends in the media would have picked up their phones to call him to say, fine, all this is nice. You said that the jets would land on Nigerian soil. Where? On which runway? Is the runway ready? Ask direct and pertinent questions and face the issue. But he says that they're undergoing training and another 6 are scheduled to join them early next year. We are happy with all that.
Yeah, but the runway, are we ready?
But the runway that
when they're done with the training, are they able to land here? That's a conversation.
The runway that you said was taken out of context. Can you please, Air Force, what's his rank now? I need to get the rank right. These ranks are not easy to come by. Air Commodore, could you please put them back in context and brief us specifically about the runway? The question, sir, Mr. Darama, the question, sir, is the runway question number one, sir, would be, is there a runway that can take this to Kano, whatever? 2, the runway that we have is where? So that we know, for example, if we have just one runway in Maiduguri, we know that we cannot deploy. If we're going to deploy them in the Niger Delta, we have to fly from Maiduguri to Kano. Jets can move very fast.
Yeah.
That is the runway ready. Do you actually need another 9 billion? These are the questions.
That's what you should be answering.
Yes, these are the questions.
We need to know, what that lawmaker had said was, without this 9 billion,
every other thing that you have agreed has taken place is going to come to naught. But according to him, with what I have here in the Punch, this is page 22 of the Punch, what he says is that it was taken out of context, and we please plead with him to please put it back in context. So that we can have it, These things, you look, in prosecuting any war and in preparing your country for defense, you need the support of the bloody civilians that you are protecting. And the only way you can get the support of the bloody civilians is for them to be well informed.
Yeah.
At
and
least
to
of
trust
the things,
you.
To trust you and the things that are necessary. And in any case, the military has to submit to civilian supervision. There's no
other way around this.
Yes, there's no other way around. And I don't think the issue of a runway is a security issue. I don't know. I don't think so.
Yeah. Joy Forever on Twitter says, Happy New Month. Yeah.
Thank you. Happy New Month to you too.
We have been told no territory is under Boko Haram, even when Governor Zulum claimed otherwise. Truth is constant. How can federal government be threatening people of not coming Christmas carol? Are they planning a lockdown? Are we under martial law? Says God save.
You see, what they have done now is to heighten tension where it's completely unnecessary. All they need to do, issue an advisory that is better for you to, it's risky for you to travel at this time, and then leave the risk to the individual.
And already most religious houses have opened, so you could just guide against talk about regulations, wash your hands, leave space.
In any case, the general public has been bound to the Philistines. I can almost say maybe 1 out of 100 people now obey these regulations.
Absolutely.
You only see these regulations when you need to go to like supermarkets and
where it's compulsory and you can't enter.
But look at, as you are in the downfall that you're sitting down listening to us now, or you're in your air-conditioned car, wind it down and look at around. The bus next to you and find out, look at the seating arrangement, find out how many people are wearing masks. They were packed. They hold them. They were 50 or in it's where you say, this must be your time.
Exactly. Same a lot anymore in the country.
Oh my God, that's another part, a new development that I don't. You don't call anybody. I don't do that. I mean, I don't know where we all of these habits from. Daddy Geo.
They probably think it's the high.
This respect want to play power, man, but don't call me power. But even a sense of a culture that I don't because I'm from another generation, but I don't call the daddy. And usually, you have to bring to come here and do songs with that. This gentleman you sent over to the said this whole thing was always close to and 6. Okay, we're moving on.
Jimmy Gloria, how knew something? I not finished. What Jimmy said on Facebook. Okay, Stephen was saying that he's hard pressed with the analysis on the Borno Boko Haram attack. We're tired of flimsy excuses from Baba, called him Baba again, Lai Muhammad all the time. Onwe Ebuka Oliver says, good morning, Wemimo and Mr. Disu. Nice viewing from, I thought it said where? Okay, Prince Gabriel Don Oj Duma says, government should not try lock down this country again. Well, let's see.
Well, if there's a need for them to, they will. It's not punishment, it's a necessity.
It's a safety precaution.
It's a safety precaution. But experience has shown that even if they have a lockdown, it will be a wasted exercise. Nigerians won't obey the simple rules. Because the last lockdown did achieve very little. You can see that there's no more information. That's not because nothing is happening. It's because people are just fed up. Yeah. So we're all bound to the Philistines, dropping off one by one, no records, nothing.
Unfortunately. I just say Oluwasegun Olatunde on Facebook says, how the government representatives don't know what to say, they should keep shouting. What do you mean? If they don't know what to say. I don't agree with Lai Muhammad, who denied us a weapon, says Uche Agu is asking on Facebook. Let's go on, guys, and see this story from the Nation newspaper. Zoning should be respected, says Amechi. Zoning should be respected, says the Minister of Transportation, Rotimi Amechi.
Well, I'm not interested in the political ding-dong that's going on in the APC, if you ask me. I probably look forward to having a new dimension in 2023, but that's politics. What bothers me about this story is the new development that we have amongst our people where, you cannot have a handshake over a very simple issue. Yeah. You cannot sit down and agree. The Nigeria that I grew up in, your word was your bond, but not anymore. In business, in family matters, even those that are well documented, people do not respect. And I find it extremely distressing. Extremely distressing. And I'm experiencing a thing like that, but that's my own personal whatever. It will have a solution where, brazenly, people can change the narrative that just for the purpose. And you see a lot of that from the idea of fake news and things like that. Credibility has been thrown out of the window. You can't sit down and agree. The question you ask is, must you document everything line by line? Ask all those. Go to the Lagos High Court and see how many families are in court over a will that has been written, signed, and presented. Look at when we have elections. Look at the number of election petitions. It makes Trump's own look like child's play. And it is very sad that you cannot agree things over the phone. These politicians, when they got together, they know what they agreed. And in a very brazen manner, they're trying to change the narrative amongst themselves. But go to business is the same thing. One of these days, somebody's going to look at you and say that your name is not Wemimo, that he was there when you were... the kind of falsehood and whatever that pervades our society is not only mind-boggling, it's worrying to the point where you don't even know what the future of not this country is anymore, the society. Yeah. I'm not talking of Nigeria, I'm talking of us Nigerians as a people.
No gentleman's agreement.
No gentleman's agreement, nothing. Everybody is suspicious of the other. Anything goes. You can tell brazen lies against anybody. You can do what you like. And nobody condemns such things.
Yeah.
So it's become a way of life. It's
to a point where you're having a conversation with someone, you need to record that conversation just for evidence.
Even if you record it,
and you play it back,
you play it back, you say no.
That's not what I mean. It was taken out of context.
Yes. It's a sad place to be found, for someone like me who grew up, in a society. Sorry, I keep referring to my age today. It's just circumstance. But you grew up in a society where somebody could give you his word and say, look. Back in the day, people took loans without signing, and I just said, look, I'm going to pay you back on the 20th, and lo and behold, on the 20th, so
you get your money. Oh, it's unfortunate.
But
I mean,
this new culture and this sense of entitlement of other people's things, I wonder where it's going to get us. And this desperate thing that is in every human being, denying the other person his rights, trying to bring him down just because you want to get something. And all these petty jealousies and this big boyism and all this nonsense, it's not going to help us at all. We are breeding a completely lawless society with no ethics at all. And it is very, very worrying. And guess what? The people who are responsible for setting this bad example, unfortunately, are our so-called elites. Yes, sorry.
So I was going to ask if you think poverty fuels this, but your last statement then throws everything off. So I'll think that the idea of trying to get everything for myself
but you're right.
From lack.
No, because poverty is not the lack of money. Poverty is a mind, is a mind thing. If you have a guy, for example, who has 2 children and then goes to build a 14 room whatever in his village so that he can have something high and mighty, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
There's something wrong with us as a people. We are poverty stricken generally across the board. In all ramifications. It's not for lack of want. It's this new culture of it must be mine. This new culture of sense of entitlement to other people's things as of right. For example, all of a sudden now, if you are driving a lorry, you pack your things in the solo, you are moving to Victoria Island, you have to go through CMS. The area boy in CMS believes as a sense of entitlement, and the policeman that you must drop something.
Yeah.
And it becomes an entitlement. I decided to quarrel with you to the last, and you try to rationalize that, but no, I got to pass this place, you must drop, and this new culture across the board is not helping us. But I think all of us have to adjust that's a new way of life.
Yeah, it has to be an individual change.
Yeah, there's a new way of life. Look, how many things back in the day would you have to record in politics? I mean that this time, 4 years time, I will go.
Yeah.
Very simple. You can't
honor that.
You can't honor that.
And then people will start asking you, when did I sign any document to tell you that I was going to do that?
Or they just keep quiet.
Yeah.
You continue ranting.
His Excellency Olariwaju on Twitter says the Tucano jet can land on rough surface, which allows it to perform operations from unimproved runways and at forward operating bases in austere environment and rugged terrain. It is cheap to operate. I'm believing that you have expertise on these. That's why you're giving this comment. If that's so, then why is the runway an issue? And why do we need 9 billion naira? Kunle Olorode says, talking of elections, have we not exported complaints to the US? Just look at Trump. Oladipo Siayemo, how long does it take the CNN to trace the bullet used to... What are you talking about? Is this in the headline today? Can't the military do the same by tracing where the Boko Haram bullet... Oh, okay. You're saying they should use a kind of... do the kind of investigation that CNN did? Is that what you're saying? Okay.
No. I mean, don't. These are. We need to put these things in context. You're not going to be looking for a killer amongst the Boko Haram people. They are your enemy.
Yeah.
You go in there and take them out.
You're not looking for one who shot what. All of them.
No. I think the gentleman has gotten things mixed up a little bit.
Let's take this commentary from the Nation newspaper. A timely advice: the elite must listen to Aisha Yesufu's admonition on peaceful change.
Please, if you have a copy of the Nation, go to the editorial page, photocopy it, and send it to all your contacts and your friends, because this is a fantastic editorial, and it's called A Timely Advice. The elite must listen to Aisha Yusufu's admonition on peaceful change. And this is what the Nation says. It says that those in government must wake up to the time bomb that hunger and deprivation for the greatest majority constitute for the privileged few. It shall be foolish to think that the wealthy can live in peace and affluence while the poor are hungry and hopeless. Those in government should feel more threatened because they are viewed by the rest of the members of the society as the causes of the crisis faced by the rest of the people. So the educated elite, whether serving in government or in the private sector, should worry about the quality of governance in the country. A word is enough for the wise. This editorial is timely. I recommend that you pass it around for anybody who can read. Those of you who you can read it to your friends on the phone if they're too lazy to read. but there is a ticking time bomb ahead of us. And it's all more, in fact, so it's a kind of bomb that is like a grenade. You take out the pin and that's it.
Right.
The pin has actually been taken out. We put a finger in between where the pin should be. Take out that finger and boom, everybody's gone.
Let's take a quick comment at this headline, the by-election happening in Lagos on Saturday. We're talking about this on Friday, by the way. I'm bringing INEC here to tell us about preparations for the by-election. This headline reads, Lagos East opposition parties back Abiru. And there are about how many parties now? 58 opposition parties under a coalition then getting behind the bureau.
You see, we continue to fool ourselves that we have a multi-party system, whereas what we have really is a two-party state. The other parties are either parastatals or parties, parastatals of the current parties. Yes, that's what they're. The other parties, or they are parties waiting. They are business parties. At times like this, we know what we know.
Yeah.
Sorry, with due apologies to my friend in Ekwe. We know what we know. We know that at times like this, they're waiting. They're waiting to be consulted. Let me use it, and carried along. And now you now say that these parties back so and so candidates. It's all a racket that we're running. And the earlier we face that, the better. Let us do things that are credible. If we want two parties, so be it. I believe we lost a very good opportunity with the Babangida arrangement, a little to the left and a little to the right. We bungled that. Now what we have is a farce. How many members are in these parties? A lot of them are part of each of these parties. How many members do they have? But we are living a fast.
We're totally out of time on the show. Yes. We need to go right now. Thank you very much. See you tomorrow morning. Guys, we're talking HIV/AIDS. Today is World AIDS Day. That's coming up after the news on the hour. My name is Wemimo Adewuni. Thank you for joining us.
99.3 Nigeria Info. We are more than just radio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Nigeria Info FM. Check us out on Facebook at Nigeria Info 99.3. Follow us on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM and on Instagram at Nigeria Info FM Lagos for live updates as it happens. 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.